Question for Mr. Honeycutt. I just wanted to know if were there any details you could share from the meeting today about specifically what items you were discussing? And then I know you mentioned in a previous news conference that not all decisions have to be unanimous and you have the final call. I was just curious if you've run into any instances yet where things haven't been unanimous.
Well, the only ones that I can recall that were not unanimous was when we were working, when Charlie brought some MMT things to us during the sim. They were only sim related, but none of the other stuff, it's been pretty smooth. What was the first question?
What closeout items you discussed today during the meeting?
You know, they were pretty easy. Amit mentioned one of them relative to getting a signature on a piece of paper, so we're carrying that open. We got some work going on with one of our remote satellites to get the mechanism that tilts the satellite repaired and getting it back up and running. That work was ongoing while we were in the meeting, so we'll get notified later on. I'm pretty sure that got worked out. We talked a little bit about a gas analyzer that's on the Orion capsule. Got satisfied with the minor challenges that we had with that. So those kinds of things. It wasn't anything big. No showstoppers. Nothing that gave us pause for concern and said, hey, we got to come back tomorrow and do L-1.
Okay, let's take a question from this side, right here on the second row.
Hi, Philip Sloss. I think this is for Charlie. Previously, you talked about a part 2 of the countdown demonstration test. Were you able to do that with the crew out at the pad?
So part 2 of the countdown demonstration test was intended to be a walk down of the emergency egress system and just a refresher. We are doing a refresher with them this evening, actually, in a briefing format, and they have been back out at the pad and have had an opportunity to take a look at it. But in terms of calling it a CDDT Part 2, we did not do the CDT Part 2 procedure, but we certainly will be covering the material with the crew tonight just to make sure that it's exactly as they remembered it and they have had an opportunity to be out at the pad. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's come up to the front up here.
Thank you very much. Tarek Malik with Space.com. I think for Charlie, it sounds from what you're saying that everything seems to be going extremely smoothly. I'm curious, are there any open items with the vehicle at all right now? And if not, like what are the key, I guess, checks between now and tomorrow, you know, that you're looking for to make sure that all the boxes are checked, the I's are dotted, et cetera, you know, for that?
It's a great question. This pad flow has gone extremely smooth, and we have been on plan or ahead of schedule the whole entire time. And so we essentially were able to pull in our launch countdown preps by an entire day. And it worked out great because we finished up most of our work on Saturday. We were carrying one weather day. This was intended to be a 12-day pad flow, one weather day. And we, when we finished the work up by Saturday and we're sitting on this weather day, it happened to be on the day where we expected bad weather. So it gave most of the team, or a good part of the team, an opportunity to take a breath, get ready for launch countdown. So that has all gone very well. In terms of constraints, I've been in this business a long time, as many of you know, and I've been through a lot of launch countdown pre-test briefings. And we had our launch countdown pre-test briefing on Saturday. It went a full 3+ hours, a very thorough review. And out of that, we were tracking exactly one constraint, one. It was on the LH2 flare stack on the pilot light. And we have 3 of them. We need one to light the flare stack. But we wanted to have full redundancy going into this countdown, even for something as small as the flare stack. And so I'm happy to report at this time that we were able to find the issue with that and correct it, and we are 3 of 3, and that paper's closing. And the last call to the firing room, before I came to this briefing, the most significant issue that was being worked at the time was they had a couple of monitors in the spare console that we don't use very often, but when they powered everything up and they were going through all of the checks, they found that they had 2 monitors that needed to be replaced. So, those are welcomed issues. If that's what we're talking about, over the next few days, that'd be great. In terms of what's coming up, I mean, there's a lot of vehicle checks coming up. So, we've powered all these vehicle elements up. We've checked them out. RF's been checked out. We've done commanding during wet dress with the flight control team. I mean, wet dress is as close to launch as you get without it being launch day. And we had a very successful wet dress. So in terms of what am I watching? Well, I'm watching everything, all the way until we get to tanking and then all the way through tanking. So every check is significant when you're in launch countdown, but I do feel good about where we are based on having a good wet dress and knowing that all of these elements have been powered up during the pad flow. They've all been checked out and maybe not quite put into the launch configuration exactly, but they've all been checked. So.
Okay, we'll take another question on this side, right here.
Yes, Bert Dicht from Ad Astra Magazine, National Space Society. A question for Emily.